Today, we're going to look at a completely new blueprint for protecting children. And its inspiration comes from a place you'd probably never, ever guess: the world of cybersecurity. It's this incredible idea that the exact same strategies we use to protect our data could actually be the key to protecting our most vulnerable people. Let's see how this idea of a digital fortress is becoming a model for human safety. It all kicks off with probably the toughest question you can imagine. How do you protect the most vulnerable people in our society? We're talking about infants, preverbal children, who literally cannot tell anyone what's happening to them. This is the core challenge that sits right at the heart of this entire new approach. So, the group really pushing this forward is the #IWAS Association. They took a long, hard look at this incredibly complex human problem and basically said the old ways just aren't cutting it. They knew they needed a whole new playbook. And, well, they found it in the very structured, very proactive world of digital defense. And that brings us to the central idea, which is honestly so simple but so powerful. What if? What if we started protecting children with the exact same level of intensity, the same rigor that we use to protect our most critical data? Just think about that for a second. The same methods, the same urgency. It's a question that could change everything. And when you look at how it translates from the digital world to the real world, it's shockingly direct. I mean, in cyber, you have threat analysis. Here, that becomes pedo risk analysis. The security standards that protect companies, that becomes a formal children's security standard. And that 24/7 command center, the Security Operations Center, or SOC, it gets completely reimagined for kids. This isn't just a clever metaphor, it's a direct operational blueprint. But look, this isn't just about one new policy or a single piece of software. Nope. The vision here is way, way bigger. We're talking about building an entire new economy. A whole ecosystem of services, standards, and technologies, all with one single focus: proactive defense for children. So how do you build something like that? Well, this new economy is built on four really solid pillars. First, a whole new class of professional services. Second, new standards and methodologies. Third, advanced technology. And finally, putting it all together with a coordinated national vision. Let's break down how each one of these works. Okay, so that first pillar is all about creating a new industry of specialists. Imagine companies that offer products specifically designed to ensure a child's sexual integrity, or consultants who go into schools and daycares to perform risk analysis. Then you'd have auditors to verify that the safety protocols are actually working, and even rapid response teams for when an incident is detected. It's a perfect mirror of the mature cybersecurity market that's already out there. The second pillar is about getting everyone on the same page, creating a common language for protection. This means developing something called pedo-threat intelligence, so you can actually anticipate threats before they happen. It means creating a specific methodology for analyzing risk, and, this is a big one, a formal children's security standard that any organization can adopt and then be measured against. Of course, a strategy this huge needs the right tools to make it happen. And that brings us to our third pillar, the advanced technology that takes this whole defensive framework from just an idea on paper into a powerful, real-world operation. One of the real game changers here is this concept of a data lake. So picture this: a massive, totally secure and completely anonymized collection of victim testimonies. By feeding all of this data to an AI, it can start to find hidden patterns, connect incidents that seem totally unrelated, and spot risks in a way that would be just impossible for any human being to do on their own. And the scale of what we're talking about here is just staggering. It's the automated interpretation of thousands of victim testimonies. This tech lets us process huge amounts of unstructured data, stories told in different ways and different languages from different decades, and pull out real, actionable intelligence. It's incredible. And the tech stack behind it all is seriously sophisticated. We're talking about AI that can support pediatricians in making a diagnosis, natural language processing, or NLP, to understand the subtle meanings in testimonies. It even uses things like homomorphic encryption, which is a wild way to analyze data while it's still encrypted, guaranteeing total privacy. And you combine all that with smart cameras and proven cyber tools, and you've got this amazing multi-layered defense. So when you take these first three pillars, the professional services, the official standards, and all that cutting-edge technology, they're all just the building blocks. They all come together to support the final, huge goal: creating a coordinated, proactive defense system that works on a national and maybe even an international scale. And the nerve center of this whole system, it would be a Security Operations Center, a SOC, but one dedicated 100% to defending children.
Think of it like a mission control, running 24/7, constantly monitoring for threats in both the physical and digital worlds, and coordinating a fast, effective response whenever something happens.
The ultimate ambition here is to scale this model way up, to build a sovereign French and eventually a unified European infrastructure for child protection. I mean, these kinds of threats don't stop at borders, right? So the defense can't either. The goal is a strong, interconnected system, basically a single, powerful shield for the continent's most vulnerable. So we'll leave you with this idea. By borrowing from the world of cybersecurity, this model is really proposing a massive shift in thinking. It asks all of us to imagine a future where protecting children is no longer just a reaction after a tragedy, but a proactive, intelligent, and always-on ecosystem, designed from the ground up to stop it from ever happening in the first place.